G'day everybody, welcome back to Mother's Ruin. 35 degrees, trees to water, and we're going to start running the irrigation line out for patch number 2. Going to be a bit of a quiet week, 300 trees last week, shotgun in the back, but we'll keep chipping away. So dogs off exploring in the bush, crickets on the radio, water in the tank. Let's go and run some polyline. Righto, so here comes the plan. We're either going to leave that IBC or shuttle there and run the pipe along the surface and bury it from about this second tree down the ends of the rows down to where the poly is, or I'm going to put the IBC up here to give myself a bit more head pressure up behind this tree and actually build another road in and around. The only risk with that is you can see just in here, and I'll zoom in a bit, there's all these tree stumps in here. So initial plan, cut the IBC, put the end down the far end, walk it up and around this row and just keep on walking it. What I don't use in this section I'll use in the next section. So we'll wander down here, just moving nice and steady today. Don't need to get stupidly hot. The Fiat at home's being problematic, so it's nice to get out on the block and walk around. And what did you find, dog? I think we want to ask what he's snorting and sniffing. So the green line, it's a 40mm poly line. Rural pipe it's called. Comes in 50m rolls or 150s. Neither are particularly easy to handle, but they're just awkward. So I'm gonna find the tail, which will be there. Take a couple of rolls off down that way so I've got some slack at that end for the drain, and just start walking. Might see if I can tape the camera to the dog's head. Well, this is only going to get awkward. What do you reckon, dog? Can you run it out for me? Or are you going to explore in the bush? So what I'm trying to avoid doing is kink the pipe, which is what I've just done there. We'll see if that pops out with some warmth. If it doesn't, I'll just make this where my tail goes and use this other bit somewhere else. But yeah, it's not fun. See, the dog's leading the way. Okay, that's the roly end where we finished, down by the creek. Comes up through the bush and down the road. One of the things I'm looking at is head pressure. So this tank feeds the top half of patch number 1, which is that post just behind the tractors. It's got a vertical head pressure of about probably 5 or 6 meters, which is heaps for this system. This tank feeds the bottom half, and it'd have almost a 10 meter head. So it's probably too much pressure. If you ever need a workout, poly pipe. It's the way of the future. Forget gyms, forget step machines, just get yourself a roll of poly. So, if I put the tank here, I reckon I've probably only got 3 or 4 metres of head pressure. And I'll probably have the same over there, but I don't have to bury the pipe. So the likelihood is it's going to end up over there, which means I'm going to use more of this pipe, but that's fine. But I only have to bury it. Oh man. I only have to bury it from about this point here. Oh, big spider web. Love spiders, not. So the first irrigation row is this row here. I need to be able to get the car up here with the water. And I'm probably going to tap into the other 2 lines for those 2 rows over there. So move this one out this way so I can get the car through. I think I've still got enough tail. Rubbish up as well. So that's that kink slowly working its way out. So this is where the tail will be. That's the last row. The tail will pop out somewhere in this bush. I am going to clean this bush up, I think. Pardon me, I was going to leave it, but I'm thinking now I might clean it up. So, what next? Well, next comes the fun part, where I have to walk over into the bush and get the loader and dig a trench from that post down to about here. So it's about 60 metres, which won't be too bad. It just takes a bit of time and the ground is dry. So I'll wander over and get that and put it in position for tomorrow. I'm in the shade here at about 4:30, so I'll start up there tomorrow at about 4:30, and I'll just dig my way down here in the afternoon when it's cool. It is too warm to be working in the sun. So we'll walk over and get the tractor, and that'll do us. There's this beautiful breeze blowing just at the moment, so I'm just going to stand and enjoy it. And then I'm going to go for a walk and see if I've got any gladdies. Sold 50 to the florist in town this morning, hoping to sell a few more, but slow and steady wins the day. So let's go for a walk. The dam has dropped about 1.5 foot in 8 weeks, but we've had no rain, so that's pretty self-explanatory. So this doesn't look like much, but this is patch number 3, and I potentially need to plant this in the next month or so. So I've got about 8 rows, and I've ripped each row in the past, and now I just need to rotary hoe it. The ground is dry, there's lots of rocks. There's 1, 2, 3, and there's another one. There's a big rock in there. There's plenty of obstacles to get around, but we'll start that tomorrow night. We'll start just hoeing it and see how it goes. Once it's hoed, I can get in and mow in between the rows and we'll be able to see it a bit easier. But I reckon I'm only going to get about 400 trees in this patch, number 2, and then another 300 or so in this patch. This isn't quite so big. And before winter, he says when he's boiling hot, potentially going to need to put trees down the bottom. So it's all happening. Yeah, it doesn't look like much, and it doesn't look like we've done a lot, but we're getting there. So anyway, I'll keep walking to the tractor. So eventually these 1, 2, oh sorry, I'll get it right, 1, 2, 3, and there's a 4th peg down there. This is going to be flattened by a dozer and it'll become a water point. I have a couple of big tanks up here pushed out from the bore over there, and then all of these patches will be watered from this one point. So it's going to take a little while, but in the short term, we'll just keep putting, I'll put the next IBC up here, and it's got about a 5 metre head pressure to this patch, and then I'll put one next to it and run it all the way down the bottom, and it'll be huge. And I'll probably end up with 3 or 4 up here because the rows down the bottom are very long. So probably only put 4 or 5 rows per IBC. So potentially I could end up with 3 or 4 here. And eventually when the bore is in, even if I don't have tanks, I can run water up and drop it in the shuttles and just keep going and not have to run water from town. But still a fair way off. Haven't seen a driller here yet, but hopefully in the new year. Alright, so this tractor hasn't run for about probably a month. It may not start. We'll soon find out. Plenty of spiders. Let's see what happens. Where's the go switch? Hang on. Neutral. Alright. Wow. It's only warm when you're walking. That's good. Hydraulics are still working. It's a good sign. Check under the seat for bugs. Alrighty, so I've got to bring the loader across a little bit because my line's going to come straight down this grass line, start here and run about 8 metres off that tree, that big tall tree there. So I'll get it set up and we'll see how hard and dry the dirt is. Okay, the easy answer would appear to be diggable, which is hard to tell in the shadow, but slow, which is fine. I can do slow. The bucket's seen better days, as we know, but it'll be fine. So I'm basically going to continue that line all the way through there, but for now it's time to go home, have a bubble bath, a glass of water, and come back tomorrow and keep chuffing on. So I'll get this posted tonight hopefully, and then tomorrow we'll come back and while I'm digging this line we'll go and start rotary hoeing over there. I'll keep plugging away, hoping to have the next round of trees in the ground before the rain in about a week's time when I go back to work. So that's 300 trees, that's 40 trees a day starting the day after tomorrow. So the back had better come good in a hurry. And yeah, and it'll just keep being warm and windy in Australia. So anyway, thanks for watching. Welcome to your new subscribers, he said to himself. It's always good to see a few new faces pop up in the feed. If you got any questions, fire them in. If you're happy just to watch, go for it. If you don't like what you're watching, subscribe anyway. Subscribe, and you never know, one day we might do something exciting like grow trees and manufacture gin and grow flowers and play with the dog. So anyway, from Mother's Ruin today, see you later, stay safe, and see you next time.